So today, we have an odd but a good fight on our hands. Andrew Garfield's Spider Man taking on MCU's Captain America. Who wins? Let's find out. So, after sneaking into a restricted area at Oscorp to try to learn more about the death of his parents, Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider. This gave him spider-like abilities as well as tremendously enhancing his physicality and granting him a spider sense. He's strong enough to easily overpower people, hold his own against the lizard, even being able to knock him over, to stop a bus full of people from tipping over, and to casually catch a flying police car with no effort. He's tough enough to survive being thrown through a wall followed by a chemical explosion unfazed, a few brutal beatings by the lizard, kept on fighting after being shot in the leg, several electric blasts and impacts from Electro, and several hits from Harry as well. Hell, he didn't even react to getting hit in the back with a metal baseball bat. But where he really thrives is his speed and agility. He's fast enough to catch a flying fly with his fingers, casually dodge point blank machine gun fire while getting closer to the shooter, take down several armed police officers before any could get a shot off. Most impressively, he saved those two people on the middle bleachers before Electro's electricity could get to them. His spidey sense also helps him with his reflexes as it alerts him when he's about to get hit and when something bad is happening. He also has his web shooters that helps him in combat and with transportation. And finally, just like any other spider, he can crawl on walls and ceilings as well. But in the other corner, Captain America. Steve Rogers was a very small and physically unimpressive man who wanted to be in the military but couldn't because of his size. Once he was finally enlisted, he proved to everyone that he would stop at nothing to do the right thing every single time. Because of this, they gave him the experimental super soldier serum, which turned him into Captain America. He's strong enough to easily lift a motorcycle with 3 women on it, keep a helicopter from taking off with his bare hands, and to send people flying with enough force to bend metal and to move cars. He's durable enough to survive bullets and stab wounds and keep on fighting, blasts from Iron Man and Ultron, falls from tremendous heights, only temporarily phased him, and hits from Thanos. And he's fast enough to keep pace with speeding cars, easily dodge or block bullets, and keep pace with Black Panther and Winter Soldier. The MCU has made him out to be the best fighter in the world. He's bested Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Iron Man, Red Skull, Spider-Man, several Hydra agents, and a cramped elevator, his past self, and he's held his own against Loki, Ultron, Proxima Midnight, and Corvus Glaive. And then with his vibranium shield, he can ricochet it off walls to hit foes from behind. The shield has taken a hit from Winter Soldier's bionic arm, blast from Iron Man and Ultron, 2 grenade launcher shots, and a massive hit from Mjolnir, and still wasn't even dented. And finally, he's a master strategist and tactician as well. So, who's stronger? Well, Steve was able to easily lift a motorcycle with 3 women on it, to throw a motorcycle hard enough to damage an armored vehicle, to lift and support beam wings several tons, and to not only keep a helicopter from taking off, but to actually pull it back down with his bare hands. But Peter was able to catch a flying cop car with no struggle, like he barely bent his knees when he caught it. He was also able to easily break a rifle, easily hold himself with 2 fingers, hold up a car, keep a bus from tipping over with a lot of people in it, bust through a pressurized water tank, and to hold his own against the lizard. I'd say Peter is stronger, but it's not by a wide margin. What about durability? Well, Cap has walked away from massive falls, blasts from Iron Man, Ultron, and Chitauri aliens, withstood hits from Thanos, and he's withstood point-blank explosions that sent him flying. Something else about him is his pain tolerance and willpower. He survived being shot 4 times, being stabbed in the leg, several blows to the face from Winter Soldier's bionic arm, and a fall of at least several hundred feet into water all in one fight and lived. But Spider-Man was unfazed by being sent through a wall followed by a chemical explosion, being deeply gashed and cut by lizard's claws, powerful electrical blasts and streams and impacts from Electro, was fine after being sent flying into a building and into a car, and was fine after being slammed repeatedly into school lockers, and being shot in the leg only caused minor pain. He even has an accelerated healing factor, as he healed from the bullet wound relatively quickly. I'd say Spider-Man takes a slight edge because of his healing factor, but it's still really close. And now, speed. Captain America has blocked grenade launcher shots within a second twice, consistently dodged or blocked bullets and blaster fire, and Sam once said that Steve ran 13 miles in 30 minutes. Although he's clearly exaggerating, he probably wasn't too far off. But Spider-Man took down at least like a dozen cops before they could get a shot off, dodge Electro's electricity, casually dodge bullets at point blank range, even machine gun fire, while getting closer to the shooter. And he saved those people on the middle bleachers before Electro's electricity reached it with only one working web shooter. Peter is definitely faster as well. So, Spider-Man is physically better across the board, which makes sense because it is Spider-Man. But Captain America isn't far behind at all. Steve is also the much better fighter. No debating that. I mean, he's bested Winter Soldier, Black Panther, MCU Spider-Man, War Machine, Crossbones, Iron Man, Corvus Glaive, Red Skull, and several Hydra agents in a cramped elevator, including Crossbones. His skill has even allowed him to contend with Loki, Ultron, and even Thanos, who are all vastly physically superior. He even bested his past self. And then you add in his shield, and he's nearly impossible to beat. He's a master at using it as a blunt weapon and throwing it at foes and ricocheting it off walls and other surfaces as well. Spider-Man just can't compete with that. He doesn't even have any sort of training. But through years of going out and fighting crime, he's somewhat created his own fighting style that perfectly uses his physicality, especially his speed and agility, his web shooters, and his intelligence. He was able to take down over half a dozen cops while keeping his head down in less than a minute. He easily bested groups of thugs, bested Lizard, Electro, and the Green Goblin. And that's another thing. There's no way Spider-Man can get through Cap's vibranium shield, but with his web shooters, he might not have to. He can just take it away from Cap with his web shooters, like Tom Holland Spider-Man did in Civil War. And let's not forget about his spider sense. It's going to be real hard for Cap to even land a hit. But with his far superior skill and greater experience, he will be able to, because it's like a great counter to the spider sense. Also, Spider-Man has never fought against a skilled fighter before, let alone the greatest fighter in the MCU. So, who wins? Well, both can win, but I gotta go with Cap taking the majority on this one. The physical gap between them isn't very large at all, and Cap's much greater skill should be able to overcome Spider-Man's spider sense more times than not. Like I said, he has no experience fighting skilled fighters, let alone the greatest in the MCU. At the end of the day, Spider-Man puts up a good fight and can pick up some victories, but Captain America is winning the majority. Captain America wins. Like and subscribe, leave a comment down below of what you think, and hit the notification bell if you did enjoy and all that great stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.